morning, students. Today we are learns about the unit number 3. In the unit number 3, fifth number poem. Poem name is the donkey. First, I will read this poem. Then I will give you hard words in this poem. First, listen carefully. I saw a donkey one day old. His head was too big for his neck to hold. His legs were shaky and lungs are loose. They rocked and staggered and weren't much use. He tries to gambles and freak a bit, but he wasn't quite sure of the pick of it. His square little coat was soft and grey and curled at his neck in a lovely way. His face was wistful and left no doubt that his felt life needed some thinking about. So he wandered round and ventured some quest and then lay flat on the ground to rest. He looked so little and weak and slim. I pray the world might be too good to him. This poem is the anonymous poem. That means here the not given the writer's name. That means in this poem, poet is unknown. Poet's name दिलेलं नाही. आता hard words in this poem. First, I saw a donkey one day old. His head was too big for his neck to hold. His legs were shaky and long and loose. They rocked. Rocked means here move suddenly or move quickly. And staggered. Stagger means to move weakly and unsteadily. Then and weren't much use. I tried to gambles and freak a bit. Gambles and freak means leap and jump playfully, but he wasn't quite sure of the pick of it. His square little coat was soft and grey and curled at his neck in a lovely way. His face was wistful. What is the meaning of wistful? Wistful means full of hope and longing for something, and left no doubt that is the felt that needed some thinking about. So he blundered around. Blundered means to move round awkwardly, and in venturesome means to adventure. Quest means to search or the act looking for the something, and they lay flat on the ground to rest. He looked so little and weak and slim. I feared the world might be good to slim. You understand? Hard words in this poem. Rocked, stranged, glamble and frisk, wistful, then blundered, the venturesome, quest. These are the some hard words in this poem. Now I am going to learn about the actually meaning of the poem. I saw a donkey one day old. His head was too big for his neck to hold. His legs were shaky and long and loose. They rocked to staggered and weren't much use. That means in this poem is the anonymous poem. That means unknown poet. But in this poem, first line, I saw a donkey one day old. That means poet say that or poet saw donkey that was just a one day old. That means he saw a donkey that was just a one day old. That his head was too big. That means poets say that the head of the donkey was too big and for his neck to hold. That means the donkey's head was too big and his neck to hold. His legs were shaky and long to loose. They rocked and staggered and weren't much use. That means here the poet say that the leg of the donkey were long, loose and shakies, and they rocked and staggered and weren't much use. That means the moved quickly and unstably and don't seem to be the much use. That means the poet say that he saw donkey that was just 1 day old. His legs were very hairs was too big and legs was the long and loose and shaky. Then second stanza, he tries a glambles and flicks a bit, but he wasn't quite sure of the trees for it. His queer little coat was soft and grey and curled at his neck in lovely way. That means in the second stanza, the poet say that the the donkey tried to run and leap playfully. Glambles means to, what is the meaning of glambles and frisk? Leap and jump. That he tried to leap and jump playfully a bit, but he wasn't quite sure of the risk of it. His queer little coat was soft and grey and curled at his neck in a lovely way. That means in the second stanza, poet say that donkey tries to run and leap playfully, but he did not seem quite sure how it was done. And that means the donkey was only 1 day old. He is peculiar little. That means, but he wasn't quite sure. Here is trick of it. His queer little coat was soft and grey and curled at the neck. That means his peculiar little coat was a soft. That means his queer little coat was a soft and grey in color, and they curl at his neck in a lovely way. That means the little coat was a soft and grey color and curl at his neck in a pretty way, lovely way. The next stanza would say that his face was wistful and left no doubt that he felt life needed some thinking about. So he blundered around and ventured some quest, and then lay flat on the ground to rest. That means in his face was a very wistful. Wistful means to full of hopes. That means the donkey's face was a very hopeful or the longing toward the some things, and left no doubt that he felt life needed some thinking about. That means the his that means donkey's face looked hopeful and he appeared to thinking about the life. That means this is the donkey was the only 1 day old. Then so blundered around and ventured some quest, and then lay flat on the ground to rest. That means the feeling of this donkey was feelings adventures, and he moved around awkwardly and searching for the some things, and then lay flat on the ground to rest, and then they lay flat on the ground to the rest. That means in this poet give the description about the donkeys who is the only 1 day old. And last stanza poet say that he looked so little and weak and slim, I prayed the world might be good to him. That means in the last stanza poet say that the little donkey looked small and weak. That means this donkey was a very little or small and weak and slim. That means this donkey was a very weak and slim. I prayed the world might to be good to him. That means in these last two lines indicate that here the poet who was prayed that the world would be the kind to him. That means the world who was the kind to him. That you understand what is the meaning of the poem. In this poem poet saw a donkey, but this donkey, that means that was just only 1 day old. And here the give the total description about the newly born or the only 1 day old donkeys. Then here given the list of the pair of rhyming words. Here the big and here the old, hold, big, then uh, mm, big no, then bit and eat rhyming words, then gray and way, doubt and about, then round and ground, then quest and rest, quest also and the rest, quest and the quest here and the rest here, then slim and him, here the slim and here the him. That means in this poem some rhyming words are the lose, use, old, hold, beat, eat, grey way, doubt, about, round, ground, quest, rest, slim, him. These are the some rhyming words in this poem. You understand what is the meaning of the poem and what is the rhyming words in this poem. Thank you.